Mr. Srinivasan now of India Cements is also joining us on the show. Mr. Srinivasan, good morning. Overall, we've seen some pretty good demand, and on the con call, in fact, there still seem to be some sluggishness only in the south and west. Wanted to get your sort of take on where we're at currently, how the situation's looking. Do you see an uptick, and what the trend is like?
Good morning. I have always maintained that actually where cement is concerned, India, there are 5 Indias. The north, central and eastern India is growing at over 10%. The demand, the capacity demand is good. So in these 3 regions, 3 Indias, we find that all the companies have reported also that the demand is growing at over 10%. In the east, it's growing at over 12-13%. In the north and central, 10%. Now, the west was affected by COVID and the monsoon. Now, the monsoons are over. COVID effect is reducing substantially. So I expect that the west will also join the party. Where the south is concerned, the southern producers, the capacity overhang is very substantial. But a lot of discipline has helped to maintain a good price, and which is why you're seeing better results from all these companies coming. Of course, the northern brothers and their results are outstanding.
Definitely looking like things are picking up. The volume growth as well, Mr. Srinivasan, can I also get your take on that? Because, while we've selectively seen recovery, in some cases it's still sluggish. So which have been the areas that have been most impacted due to the lockdown?
No, I think large parts of India, north, central, eastern India, and to some extent west are okay. You will find that the volumes will grow at least by 10% in these places. In the south also, there is, you see, the central schemes have not come into the south. But the southern states, take Andhra Pradesh, we estimate the demand in Andhra to be 8-9 lakh tons. 2 to 3 lakh tons of government demand is going to come in. So I think each state individually is contributing to an improvement in the south. Not the central schemes. I mean, the big road projects, infrastructure projects have not been seen to that extent in the south. But nevertheless, the demand is good. The demand is picking up. And in fact, if you ask me, 6 months ago, I did not think that the demand for cement would be this good at this time of the year. The economic activity is there. The private sector house building is there. The monsoons have been good, and that has contributed to pick up in demand in rural India. So I think overall, the demand for cement will go up, maybe a little less in the south than other parts, but pricing discipline is very strong in the south. So I expect overall this to be a good year.
Good morning. Now, your realization trend has been quite good. You've seen a 9% increase on a year-on-year basis to about 5,077 rupees a ton. Despite the volume decline, this has come in as a fairly encouraging number. Do you think that it indicates that pricing discipline now will be seen mainly from all players? And going forward, what is your sense when it comes to pricing panning out? Do you think that we can sustain at higher levels?
I think so. You see, I expect that for example, November is a month when the demand is sluggish because monsoons in Tamil Nadu and some other parts. But that has not affected demand. The prices are holding firm. So I expect that going forward, prices will improve. And definitely in the first quarter of the January-March quarter, you will see both volume and price go up. There is a feeling of optimism in the cement industry across India. even in the south.
Okay, fair enough. And, capacity utilization levels in comparison have been a bit lower, around 43%. Not comparing very favorably with some of your other peers. Do you think you would attribute this mainly to the COVID-led pandemic-induced impact? Or do you think that there is an all-round reduction or slowdown in activity in South India?
No, in South India, I think the lockdown was even more severe than other parts of the country. I mean, the five southern states, you saw a very severe, solid lockdown. So that affected demand. Now that the lockdown is being eased, demand is picking up. And definitely the discipline in South has been much better. And as a result of which, even at low capacity utilizations, you find even ours was only about 43 for the first half of the year. But my EBITDA was far better than same time last year.
Okay. You have said that you expect a significant order intake from the AP government as well in terms of housing for EWS. What would be the monthly run rate that you'd expect there? How will it improve utilization levels?
They will contribute at least 25 to 30% of the demand in Andhra Pradesh, which is very huge. And in fact, they are in a hurry. For example, they are chasing the cement industry for supplies to supply on time. They are concerned about bottlenecks, which may give rise to a delayed supply. I think they're very serious and they're paying.
Mr. Srinivasan also wanted to understand what's the current debt level on your books and whether or not you've opted for moratorium by any chance.
See, my term debt is 2,600 crores. I have an interest-free sales tax loan of about 200 crores. And our working capital is about 500 odd crores. In the first half of this year, we have repaid about 120 to 130 crores of debt. In the second half, we expect to repay about another 300 crores or a little bit more. So our debt level will see a substantial reduction during this year. I think we also have adopted, a cash and carry policy. So our working capital will be better and easier in the second half of this year. As far as moratorium, we have taken one moratorium.
Okay. Mr. Srinivasan also wanted to understand whether because of COVID there will be a delay in expansion in states like Madhya Pradesh or for that matter the other capex that you've lined up.
See, we have a capex for improve the grinding at Sankanagar, which we'll complete. We have a waste heat recovery plant at Chilamkor in Andhra Pradesh, which we will complete. As far as the project to set up a new cement plant at Damo, that will be delayed a little. We will see how things pan out after COVID. It is definitely delayed because of COVID. There was so much of uncertainty that we did not want to venture during that period. Now, there is very clear indication that the demand will be very good in that area going forward. So we will wait till we accumulate more cash and we feel comfortable because the limestone is under the ground. Nothing is going to happen to it. Whether I expand now or 6 months later or 9 months later makes no difference.
Mr. Srinivasan, you've got the entire infrastructure sector, construction as well, that has seen quite an impetus by the government. There have been a lot of steps and there is expectation that a lot more is likely to be done. How have you read into the recent moves, the kind of policy boost that we've seen, and what more is it that you would like to see that would inevitably help grow the cement sector?
See, if you look at the demand for cement, it is infrastructure driven in many parts of India, but that mostly is in north, central, eastern, western, etc. Not so much in the south. But the other driver for cement is private sector housing. It is the individual house builder. That is very strong in the south. I mean, that is, and helped by a good monsoon, the combination of infrastructure spending, private sector house building. So I think the demand for cement, one can be positive. On top of that, government is now emphasizing, I mean, there are initiatives in infrastructure. They are going to make an announcement later today. I hope cement is also involved in it. And we look forward to better times.
All right. And just in your opinion, if you could give us a sense as to what the past few months have been like for the cement sector in the southern region in particular, by way of, demand, construction activities, supply chain issues, capacity utilization, how you've managed to come out of it. Are there any different strategies now that the company is adopting in order to get more accustomed to this new normal as we describe it?
What we have done is that we said that we will look at the business of cement, not the volume of cement. So therefore, price becomes very important. And also we said liquidity is important in this difficult period. So we said you want cement, pay money and take the cement. So this has actually paid off for us in the sense that it has helped keep us liquid. You see, take India Cement, we have not laid off a single person. We have not reduced salary of people. We have paid bonus also for the last year. So we have, in fact, not only met all our commitments, we have repaid about 120, 130 crores of debt. We will continue to repay more during the second half of this year. So what is the reason for this? The reason is that our clear decision that the price of cement is important, and clear decision that you want cement, you pay for it. We cannot give indefinite credit. And on top of that now, there is a revival. You see, I find that for the month of November, my demand is better than in earlier years. So there is a pent-up demand which is coming to fruition now. There is current demand also. So I think going forward, you would find that the capacity utilization in the south also will pick up quite smartly.
Sure. Mr. Srinivasan, in terms of the demand once again, I just want to understand, do you see this primarily from residential, construction, overall? Is it more in terms of infrastructure or residential, or are there particular segments of the economy that you're seeing this demand in?
See, we are seeing depending on which part of India you're talking about, infrastructure in west, central, north, and east is flying. The amount of investment there is huge, and the companies there are not able to meet the demand. In the south, it is the intrinsic demand creation by each state government. There is a huge infrastructure in Telangana. The government is at the back of a lot of demand in Andhra Pradesh. Tamil Nadu is good. I mean, there's a lot of investment, 12,000 crores of investment supposed to come. So there is a buoyancy across, created by different reasons in different places. That so much so, for example, although India, we appreciate Make in India, we appreciate that we should produce in India. India is, where cement is concerned, we have a capacity of almost 500 million tons. Above us, China, 2.6 billion tons. Below us, America with 60 million, 60, 65. So we are a global player in the field of cement. The only thing, sometimes we wonder why then should cement be imported into India from places like the Middle East when we are not at full capacity utilization, but that's for the government to decide.
Absolutely. And talking about the government, given that they are announcing another spate of stimulus measures, PLI-linked schemes, we're expecting even another announcement this week. Do you feel perhaps that we are going to start to see the impact of some of these measures along with the signs of recovery that we're possibly already seeing? What's your sense as we move forward into a new year?
See, my sense is that after 6 or 7 months, slowly the economy is starting to move. I see demand in my sector. You see, in the United States and the Western world, housing starts is an indicator of the economy. I translate that into cement demand. Cement demand in most of India is good. In South India also it is picking up. So that only means, and can only mean that the economy is picking up smartly.
Mr. Srinivasan, just wanted to understand what the outlook is on the cement sector as a whole in terms of the overall capacity in India. Do you think that it is more than is necessary or excess at the moment?
I think if you take North, Central, Eastern India, they will run almost at 100%. That will be the Western India also will pick up very smartly, and because now that the COVID is reduced, Maharashtra rains are over, demand is good. We are seeing that in Maharashtra demand is good. If at all there is a slightly lower capacity utilization, it is likely to be in the south, but even that will catch up. See, according to me, even last year, my capacity utilization was 69-70%. I may not reach that immediately, but my profitability will be good because, as I said, the business of cement in South will be good.
You know, curious to understand from you, what is the demand trend when it comes to the rural versus urban? Are you as well seeing a trend of, a far more activity and things picking up much better in terms of demand in the rural regions?
Yes, rural demand is good. There is no doubt at all that following the very good monsoon that we've had, the demand in rural India, see, if demand in rural India is not good, you will not see the kind of demand, overall demand for cement that we are seeing now. It is because rural India is consuming, is starting to consume. There are no restraints. People are not worried about COVID like they were 6 months. There is no lockdown. Free movement is there. All this counts a lot, that when you're confined to your home and when you're confined to certain areas, the last thing you think about is invest in houses. But now all that fear is gone. The people, even in metropolitan cities, for example, even take Chennai, the demand for ready-mixed cement is so high because people want to, they're under pressure to meet deadlines. They are under pressure because people are putting money down, registrations have gone up. So it is a combination of all these factors that is making a cement producer feel better.
Had gone ahead and said that the cement industry has contracted nearly 20% plus in terms of production in the first half of the year. The southern states as well had registered a negative growth, and that was largely impacted by COVID. Just wanted to get in a holistic sense from you as well as to what the outlook is for the cement industry going forward in the country in terms of having dealt with the pandemic, and when do you think that we are now likely to see pre-COVID levels and a significant and convincing recovery for the cement industry?
See, The cement industry is on a recovery track. There is no doubt. Rural demand is good. In metropolitan cities, registrations for properties is going up very substantially. The housing loan activity is also good. So therefore, overall, where the cement demand is concerned and government expenditure on infrastructure is solid. So if you look at all these aspects, one has to conclude that going forward, the demand for cement will be very good. Maybe some parts of India, South India, it may be slightly slower than the other, but I must take India as a whole, Bharat. If I take India as a whole, the demand will be good. It will be better than what we have seen in the last 1 or 2 years.
Okay, Mr. Srinivasan, on that positive note, thank you so much for taking the time out, and here's wishing you and your entire team at India Cements a very healthy and prosperous Diwali.